So, welcome to lecture series on programming in C and data structures. In today's lecture, we will see about the decision making and looping statements. So, if you want to execute a segment of the program repeatedly, we will use if statement. Though this method is quite satisfactory in some of the cases, so the counter variable has to be initialized and incremented every time, and the value has to be tested for the completion of the loop. So in looping, a sequence of statements are executed until some condition for termination of the loop is satisfied. The program loop consists of two segments. One is the body of the loop and other one is the control statement. So the control statement tests certain conditions and then it directs the repeated execution of the statement contained in the body of the loop. So this is the flowchart for the loop control structure. So after the program initialization, the test condition is checked. If the test condition is true, the body of the loop will be executed. If it is false, it will move to the exit part. So depending on the position, or if you see the second part, the test condition is given after the body of the loop, which means the body of the loop will be executed at least once before the test condition is checked. So the test condition can be either given at the beginning of the loop or at the end of the loop. In both way, we can specify the test condition. So depending on the position of the control statement in the loop, the control structure can be classified either as entry control loop or exit control loop. So entry control loop is that the control condition is tested before the body of the loop will be executed. The condition is not satisfied, then the body of the loop will not be executed. In an exit control loop, the test is performed at the end of the body of the loop. Therefore, the body of the loop will be executed at least once without the condition being checked. So the entry control and exit control loops are also called as pre-test loops and post-test loops. So the test condition should be carefully stated in order to perform the desired number of loop executions. It is assumed that the test condition will eventually transfer the control out of the loop. Due to some unforeseen reason, if it does not do so, then the control is bound to set up an infinite loop and the body will be executed repeatedly. So the looping process in general includes the following steps. First is initializing the condition variable. Second one is executing the statement given inside the loop. Third one is the testing or checking of the condition variable so that the loop can be executed. Fourth one is incrementing the condition variable. So the test may either be done to determine whether the loop has been repeated the specified number of times or to determine whether the particular condition has been met or not. So in C language, it provides three constructs for performing a loop operation. We have three different looping statements. One is while loop, other one is do statement, and the third one is for loop. So now let us see the difference between the entry control loop and the exit control loop. In case of entry control loop, the condition is checked at the entry of the loop, whereas in exit control, condition is checked at the entry of exit of the loop. So here, if in entry control, if the condition is initially false, loop never executes. In case of exit control, the condition is initially false, then the loop executes at least once. So see here, I have given the condition inside while loop at the beginning of the body of the loop itself. So if I value is equal to 0 only, then the message in while loop will be printed. But here I value is equal to 1, it is not equal to 0. So the message in while loop will not be printed. Instead, the message out of the loop is printed. So this is same for all the programming language. So it doesn't matter of this loop condition is applicable only for C. So if you see the example for exit control loop, I have given I value as 1, which means I have initialized the I value to 1. And here the condition while is given at the end of the loop. So initially the body of the loop in while loop will be executed at least once. So the in while loop message is printed, after which the condition is checked. So here the condition will turn out to be false because I value is equal to 1, but the condition I have given is I is equal to 0. And then the message out of loop will be printed as well. So here the body of the loop is executed once before the condition is being checked. This is exit control loop. So for entry control loop, the best example is while loop, and for exit control loop, the best example is do while loop or do statement. There are say loops called sentinel loops. So let us see what it is. Based on the nature of the control variable and kind of value assigned to it for testing the control expression, we again classify the loop into two types. One is counter control loops and other one is sentinel control loops. So in case of counter control loops, when we know in advance exactly how many times the loop will be executed, we can use counter control loops. Here we use a control variable which we call it as counter. So the control variable or the counter must be initialized, tested and updated for a desired number of times to execute the loop operation. So the counter control loop is also called as definite repetition loop. In case of sentinel loop, a special value called sentinel value is used to change the loop control expression from true to false. For example, if you want to read data, we may indicate the end of data by a special value like -1, 0, or 999. So the condition variable is called a sentinel variable here. The sentinel control loop is often called as indefinite repetition loop because the number of repetition is not known before the loop starts executing. So now in the next lecture, we will look into the various looping statements like while, do while, and for loop. So until what I have said so far, hope you understand the concepts. So we will meet in the next video lecture. Thank you.